Hi, this is Amie at the Virtual Planetarium at Raritan Valley Community College. Let's take a look at some of the things we can see in the sky for the week of January 24th, 2021. I'll start with our upcoming moon phases. We'll have a full moon on January 28th, a last quarter moon on February 4th, and a new moon on February 11th. This week, the sun is rising around 7:10 a.m. and setting around 5:10 p.m. High in the south-southeast at 8 p.m. is the famous constellation of Orion the Hunter. It's easy to find by looking for 3 stars in a straight line. We call these the belt stars. The belt stars are named from left to right: Al-Natak, Al-Nalam, and Mintaka. The names are Arabic. In fact, most of the names of the brightest stars in the sky are Arabic. Why? As Western civilization descended into the Dark Ages, the Middle East became the center for astronomical learning. Arabic culture kept alive the body of celestial knowledge that had been compiled by the ancient Greeks. All right, there are 2 bright stars above the belt, Betelgeuse and Bellatrix. These mark Orion's shoulders. And there are 2 bright stars below the belt, Rigel and Safe. These mark his legs or his knees. I love looking for these stars in the real night sky, especially Rigel and Betelgeuse, because they're colorful, and you can see that Rigel is bluish and Betelgeuse is orangish. The color tells us about their surface temperature. Red stars, like Betelgeuse, have a surface temperature around 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Blue stars, like Rigel, have a surface temperature around 20,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Our sun is a yellow star with a surface temperature in the middle, around 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit. Can you find other colorful stars in the sky? Rigel and Betelgeuse are quite far away from us. Betelgeuse is almost 500 light years away, while Rigel is more than 860 light years away. How can they be so distant and yet still be 2 of the 10 brightest stars in the sky? Rigel is a hot blue giant star. It's pumping out tons of energy in all wavelengths. Betelgeuse is much cooler, but it's bright because it is a supergiant star. If we could bring Betelgeuse back here to our solar system and put it where our sun is, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and the asteroid belt would all probably be inside of it. Betelgeuse is a red supergiant star, and it's nearing the end of its life. Its core is contracting in upon itself and becoming ever denser and hotter. As the core heats up, it causes Betelgeuse's outer layers to simultaneously expand outward and cool down into the bloated red giant that we see in our night sky. Sometime in the next million years or so, Betelgeuse is going to supernova. It'll eventually collapse in upon itself, triggering a massive supernova explosion. But if it were to happen today, we wouldn't know about it for nearly 500 years, because that's how far away Betelgeuse is and how long it takes light to travel to us. Rigel, in Orion's foot, is about 860 light years away and shines at magnitude 0.2. Its brightness is about 40,000 times that of our sun, and it emits 100,000 times as much energy. Beyond its intense heat and brightness, Rigel hides a secret. It is actually two stars rather than the single star it appears to be. It has a closely orbiting companion star that shines at an apparent magnitude of 6.8. The primary star shines far too bright for us to see the companion with the naked eye. Hot, massive stars like Rigel use up their fuel supplies very quickly and do not live very long compared to other stars. One day, Rigel will become a bloated red giant like Betelgeuse. If you've ever wondered where baby stars come, Orion can show you the answer. Stars are born in an interstellar nebula, interstellar cloud of gas and dust, primarily composed of cold molecular hydrogen. One of the closest of these star birthing factories to Earth can be seen just with the naked eye. Dropping down from Orion's belt is a group of stars in a straight line that we call the sword. The second star, right there, is not a star. It is a cloud of gas and dust, 1,300 light years away and some 30 to 40 light years wide. It's the Orion Nebula. This is a place where stars are being born. When you look at the Orion Nebula with binoculars or a small telescope, you see a glow. This glow is created by the radiation from newborn stars energizing the clouds of gas and dust. Through a telescope, you see even more detail. The most obvious feature will be 4 bright and very young stars in the center that are collectively called the trapezium. A long exposure photograph like these will of course reveal the nebula in all its glory. You won't see this kind of color with your eye when looking through a telescope, although every now and then, if your eyes and the seeing conditions are good enough, you might make out some greens and blues. Recent studies of the nebula have revealed the presence of what astronomers call proplyds, which is short for protoplanetary disks, a rotating disk of gas and dust that surrounds infant stars and may one day give rise to planetary systems of their own. Below Al-Natak, the star, the leftmost star, is another star-forming region. Let's zoom in here. Right there, the Horsehead Nebula. This iconic horsehead is actually a dense, dark cloud silhouetted against the glowing cloud of gas that lies behind it. This is a nebula that shows up best in very long exposure photographs. A regular telescopic view looking through a telescope, that's going to be disappointing. Our name and the image we have for Orion comes from the Greek and Roman traditions. In Greek mythology, Orion was the mortal son of the god Poseidon. He possessed extraordinary good looks and great skills as a hunter, but he was also one to brag about how good a hunter he was. The people were tired of his comments and complained to the gods. Gaia, the Earth Mother, sent a scorpion to battle Orion. The scorpion stung and killed Orion. Zeus memorialized Orion by placing him in the sky. Zeus also placed the scorpion in the stars. So you'll see if we come back to our sky, As Orion sets in the western sky, the constellation Scorpius rises in the southeastern sky. So perhaps Orion is still afraid of the Scorpion, and they are on opposite sides of the sky so that he can stay as far away from the Scorpion as possible. These same stars have often been grouped together by many different cultures. The Egyptians saw this as Osiris. Osiris is followed by Isis, represented by the star Sirius. When Sirius rose with the sun near the summer solstice, this heralded the beginning of the Nile River flooding and the start of the agricultural year. When the king stars of Osiris or Orion returned to the evening sky in late autumn, they told the people that the flooding times were ending. The Lakota Native Americans call it the hand. It represents the arm of a chief that was ripped off by the thunder beings as a punishment for the chief's selfishness. His daughter offers to marry the person who can retrieve his arm from the sky. Fallen Star, whose father was a star and whose mother was human, returns his arm and marries his daughter, symbolizing harmony between the star world and the people with the help of the younger generation. The index finger is represented by Rigel. The Orion Nebula is the thumb, and the belt of Orion is the wrist. And the star Beta Eridani is the pinky finger. Well, that's our sky for this week. Thanks for joining me in our virtual planetarium. Please subscribe to our channel, like our video, and share it with your friends. We look forward to seeing you back at the Real Planetarium in the future. Until then, keep looking up.